Kawhi starts the frame on the bench. Darius Garland is out there. Miller, one-on-one on Cornette. The fadeaway from 10. The shot is good from Miller, and it's a 7-point game here in the fourth.
He certainly took his time working against the big man. Cornette just couldn't catch back up when he took that step back and faded on it. Nice switch that time by Kobe.
Vassell on the wing for three. Rebound tapped up, but not in. A whistle and a loose ball foul called against the Clippers. Just hit a couple a moment ago. San Antonio 8 of 10 from the stripe. The Clipper season tickets give you priority access to postseason tickets and exclusive member.
They thought that was a very good pickup for them. They were able to add him behind that Wembanyama.
I agree. I think Cornette was I agree with you 100%. Wonderful pickup and adding depth behind Wembanyama. And now the lead balloons back to 9, but the Clippers still have the momentum. Just underway in this fourth quarter. Long way to go, but none to waste with the way San Antonio has played. Garland rifles one into Miller, and he lays it in. Jordan Miller off the bench with 10, and the lead back to 7.
And he just got it up quick enough so Cornette couldn't come and block it.
Another very clever in the painted area. We've seen it already a couple of times in the frame. Castle gives to Cornette out of his comfort zone. Now back to Castle, 6 to shoot, wrapped up by Garland. Whistle foul.
To come down and knock down a shot to get his confidence back up again.
Castle loses it. Clippers have numbers. Mathurin. San Antonio rebounds out in front by 7. Castle, the corner three. It's a big one. Leading back to double digits.
Mathurin's got to see that teammate of his running that left lane wide open, make the pass across.
Mathurin wants the screen. Finds Dunn in the corner to retaliate, not there. And San Antonio rebounds. Fox. He's been incredible tonight for San Antonio and stays there. Been a big reason for their success. Well, his scoring that we had seen so many years in Sacramento has come in handy here tonight. Mathurin turns it over. Castle the other way. Pin beneath the net. Under barrels off the rim. Rebound back tap to Vassell. Blocked by Garland. Kind of a wild sequence here. Clippers can't afford to give up anything else. Castle inside. Counted and a foul. And Stephon Castle. And then you watch him play, it's a different person, and I appreciate it. I respect it. Castle gets up and down on the three-point play.
I remember him from All-Star Weekend being upset that they lost those first 2 games his team was playing on. He was legitimately upset that they lost.
Ultimately, the All-Star MVP in that game was Anthony Edwards, and it quickly gave credit to Wembanyama for setting the tone and having everybody follow suit. Credit to Wemby, not playing tonight. And the Spurs have been okay without him. 97-84, they lead. Garland able to make that shot. He's got 11. Inside, it's Castle. The big finish for San Antonio.
They break down their communication on that little split screen. Slip to the basket. Both guys stayed. Nobody went.
Garland gets to the rim. Can't get it to go down, but a whistle.
Ran that little screen action and then went to the basket. There's nobody there to rotate.
Fox takes his seat. He's a plus 24. Cornette also off the floor. So both teams going small here. Miller inside, a whistle, and a jump. Miller should have been able to reestablish the bounce. I love how the play finished anyway. Great call by the officials. Leonard with the 3.
I knew I could change your mind.
I'm not sure who the tech was on. The dribble, no?
He never dropped the ball, correct?
Yeah.
He lost possession of it, but still grabbed it again. So that's why I think the official felt that was a jump. I'm not agreeing with the official.
Should have been a travel if that's what they're saying and not a jump ball. Harper. Rebound tapped up and not in. Harper crashing the glass. Offensive rebounds have been somewhat in control only because the Spurs are shooting over 55% from the field. That time it bites the Clippers, and they trail now 102 to 87. Mathurin is straight on 3. 7:50 to play in this one. Clippers seem to have a chance, but San Antonio has just muscled their way back out in front. 104-87, 7 minutes and 39 seconds to play.
It just seems like every Spurs player is muscling his way to where he wants to get to on the floor.
Garland tripped up on the way up. Tied for 8th spot. If the Clippers do not win, they will fall to the 9th spot in the play-in bracket. There is still a runway and a game against the Blazers, but now the Clippers, instead of having kind of their hands on the wheel in that position, are going to have to play catch-up if they can't turn this one around in the final 7:20. Garland inside, no. Rebound back tap over to Harper. It's 104-87.
Garland really affected by the size this evening, the strength and the size of San Antonio.
Hassel. Great ball movement. Harper, the corner three. It's good.
That's what they do. Castle muscles his way into the paint, then turn and kicks it out. They swing it over one pass, and you get a wide open look.
And it's back to 20. Miller to retaliate. Dunn grapples for the loose ball. Goes out of bounds. I believe last touch by the Spurs. San Antonio 7 of 12 in this quarter. They've outscored the Clippers 20-9. Disaster. Allowed San Antonio to build a lead of 26 points starting the third quarter. Clippers would cut it down to 7 here in the fourth. The Spurs have quickly regained control. Keldon Johnson, the corner three, and that might do it. Same. My son is somewhat hearing impaired as well. What a great story. Bright future for Carter Bryant, that is for sure. Nice move there. And now Kobe Sanders able to lay it in. It is 110-89. Kawhi Leonard, Darius Garland off the floor, likely done for the night. The Clippers, can't say they had chances. They cut it down to 7, but you can't let San Antonio, without Victor Wembanyama, on the tail end of a back-to-back, put you down by 24 in the first half, and that is what happened here for the Clippers. And a couple of tough losses. Portland, who won tonight, now they'll take over that 8th spot in the Western Conference. Christie misfires and Keldon Johnson with a rebound. San Antonio will improve to 27-2 since February 1st. Incredible. The Spurs are going to break, by the way, a 5-year drought of missing the playoffs. They missed it in 2020 for the first time, and when they missed it, one of the local newspapers had to put out kind of a tongue-in-cheek article about how the lottery system worked, because they'd answered the call. They got off to a great start, and many people said, oh, this is a real team. And I kind of waited. It's like, we'll see. Well, they are. They are legit, and they have a...
Castle just hit with a technical foul. That's why the Clippers shot.
And so Mathurin will go to the free throw line here. One of those games was in that in-season tournament situation. And it'll be interesting to see as they line up right now. There is still a shot. There's now 40-38. The Clippers will match them in the loss column after tonight.
See, Harper has the ability to run the show from out in front. He's a terrific passer. Sees the floor. He's got size and strength.
Keldon Johnson, good footwork, can't finish. Rebound tapped around. And Mathurin has it for the Clippers. 2 days off for the Clippers. They'll fly Saturday as Miller lays it up and in to Sacramento. Going back to February 1st. Johnson inside, lays it in.
You know what they're so good at, Brian, is putting their head down, their shoulder down, and turning the corner. Their strength, their body types, so good at getting into that painted area when the defender's with them.
Mentioned how Oklahoma City and the Thunder and the Spurs could be matched up in the playoffs. Remember, OKC got off to that great start, 24-1. How about this finish for San Antonio overall? Ball knocked out of bounds, goes back to the Clippers. Really hit every rung on the ladder. To San Antonio's great credit, they skipped a few runs. They didn't just compete for a playoff spot this year. They are owning it, and again, have a chance for the best record in the NBA. Mathurin along two.
Well, there is something to playoff experience, okay? It does mean something. These are big games in front of big crowds, and they're very emotional times, but doesn't mean a team that has some talented youngsters can't compete and win a round and 2 rounds and perhaps get to the conference final.
2 nights ago, and in the first half, they didn't match the energy for San Antonio. That was explained to Jamie from Brian Shaw at halftime. Able to cut the lead, which was 26 down to 7. But the Spurs just turned it on again. And were able to push this one back up over 20. They get the rebound. A whistle and a travel and a turnover. Time Washington feeds to Miller. Sanders draws the contact from Bryant, and I believe they'll call that on the floor. This night, he was 16 of 22. This is last night.
Able to see them 3 times recently, and he changes so many shots. Not that they count as blocks, but he certainly affects the mentality of the players when they drive the lane or if he's in the area.
Somebody, I think, and I really believe this, that's good to know, and I have clarity going forward, and I feel that I will have a peace of mind from here on out. McLaughlin inside. Rebound goes to Washington. And perhaps the last active possession coming up here. Sanders down the lane, wrapped up, counted, and a foul.
Nice finish play, Cole. Well, Madison College, I should say.
This is your affiliation? You're saying this about you? It's been here after winning 5 in a row, dropping now to Portland and now San Antonio. And they find themselves looking up at the Blazers in that play-in bracket. The Blazers winning tonight, both teams at 38 losses and 1 more game coming to Portland. Pointing out again that the Spurs actually play the Blazers